Hey folks, what's up? This is Adam here. I can't see the guy. Welcome to the Movie Vault. Haven't done a movie review in a while. It's because I've been so busy with other things outside of YouTube, and it's been kind of chaos. But I've got a bit of free time now to review a movie. And this time I'm going to review a movie which I watched constantly as a kid. And I watched it countless times. My mother introduced me to this movie. She's no longer with us. She's in heaven now. But she loved this movie. And she introduced me to it when I was like 5 years old. And this is a movie that came out of the year of 1939, and I'm talking about The Wizard of Oz. Now, Wizard of Oz, in my opinion, is a classic. Okay, I've just got done watching it moments ago, so I can remember everything that happened, because although I watched it loads of countless times as a kid, there were certain bits that I didn't quite remember. But I've just watched it again moments ago, and I can understand why I was so drawn into the film when I was a kid, and I can understand why my mum likes it, and I can also understand why people says it was one of the greatest movies ever made. Okay, because this movie, it's a very nice, innocent family film. Okay, although this movie does have a lot of dark nature to it, and some stuff that went on behind the scenes that were mind blowing and fucking crazy. The film itself is very innocent, it's very enjoyable, lovable characters, lovable songs, and again, for 1939, this movie was really well made. I mean, there's just some things in this film that make you blow away, even in today. I mean, you can even watch the film today and still get enjoyment out of it. I mean, there's certain things that make you look at it and go, how the hell did they do that? Like the tornado in Kansas, where Dorothy's going back to the house to go in the shelter with the rest of her family, and you can see the tornado going around in the background, and you think to yourself, how did I do that? Well, I know there's YouTube videos and behind the scenes makings of the film now that tell you how to do that, but when you're watching it for the first time, you think to yourself, that's really incredible. I mean, 1939, this is way before any of your old classic movies, you know what I mean? And it's when another thing that blew you away, it starts off in black and white, but then when it hits to the land of Oz, it all turns colour. So even when people view this for the first time and they saw all the colour features and all the colour scenes, they were blown away by it. I mean, the dark things that went on was really unnecessary. I mean, I know I'm supposed to be talking about The Wizard of Oz, the review, the movie, but I've looked into some stuff that was totally unbelievable, because in 1939 they got away with a load of crazy shit. I mean, I heard that the director was abusive towards Judy Garland. I mean, from what I read, I don't believe everything I read, but coming from 1939, I kind of believe it's true. He slapped Dorothy across the face. Some of the Munchkins used to feel her up, touch her ass and all that kind of stuff. The Tin Man, the original actor, was took to the hospital because he had an allergic reaction from the dust. They put on the makeup for him to be the Tin Man. Margaret, who played the Wicked Witch, and Miss Gulch, she had some degree burns, from some of the fire effects in this film. There's also that mystery about the hanging Munchkin, in one background, but all that's been explained already. But like I say, they got away with a lot of crazy shit back then, and again, you really feel for the characters, especially Judy Garland, about what she went through, but people do sick things in this world, it's just very unfortunate, it's a big shame. But going back to the movie, basically, we all know what The Wizard of Oz is all about if you haven't seen it already. I mean, I can't believe there's not many people who have not seen this movie. They used to show it on TV all the time. Judy Garland plays a girl by the name of Dorothy. She has a dog called Toto. She's coming back home, informing her family that Miss Gulch is after Toto because she keeps her going into a garden. And they're too busy to talk to Dorothy. They're all wrapped up in their own lives and their own work on the farm. They're very hard-working people, but they have no time for Dorothy and her problems. Miss Gulch, who's played by Margaret, comes to the house to take Toto away because she spoke to the sheriff about the nuisance the dog is making in a garden. So she's taking Toto away for it to be destroyed. Toto escapes, and when she goes back to Dorothy, her and Dorothy, Dorothy and the dog Toto are planning on running away. And when they run away, she goes to see this fortune teller, and this fortune teller kind of BS's his way for her to go back to the farm because he's like, you know, your aunt will be missing you, and you're leaving your loved ones behind while you're planning on running away. And then when she returns to the farm, the tornado is happening in Kansas. The family managed to go into like this bomb shelter in the backyard. Dorothy goes to the house, gets knocked out by the window glass, and she gets knocked out. And then it shows this tornado, the house spinning in the tornado. Again, really nice effects for a 1939 movie. And then when the house finally lands into the land of Oz, everything turns colour, and she's in Munchkin Land, you know. And again, the settings were like really well done, like how they made the flowers. I mean, when you look back at it now, especially clear quality, like the flowers and all that were like made of paper and all that kind of thing. But it was really well done, really well done. I mean, I like the settings in this movie, whether it's the Munchkin Land, Emerald City, going through the woods, you know, the haunting scenes, you know. So the settings in this film were like done to a T, you know, for this movie. I mean, we learn that the house landed on the Wicked Witch of the East, and then what's that? When we get introduced to like, the Munchkins and Glenda, the Witch of the North. She tells Dorothy that she rescued all the Munchkins from the Wicked Witch of the East, and they're all celebrating, singing "Ding Dong, the witch is dead." You know, wake up, you sleepyhead, rub your eyes, get out of bed, and basically all the Munchkins are celebrating. You know, then the Wicked Witch of the West appears. She plans to get her revenge on Dorothy, but she can't because she's got the ruby slippers on her feet. And she's planning on making Dorothy's life a living hell further on down the adventure of the road. And then she wants to go back to Kansas, but she's got to follow the yellow brick road and go and see the Wizard of Oz in order to grant her wish about turning her, you know, making her go back to Kansas. And again, the songs in this film were so memorable. Whether it's Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. I want to go back a bit where she's in Kansas, where she's singing Over the Rainbow. Judy Garland's got the most sweetest voice you could ever imagine. I mean, the way she sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And from what I understand, some people wanted to cut that from the film because they didn't want to spend they didn't want to like shoot so many scenes in Kansas. They want to go straight to Oz. And I think to yourself, that's like one of the best songs, possibly the best song in the film. How the hell can you cut that out? You know what I mean? But they kept it, luckily. And again, the songs are just so memorable. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I used to sing along to the songs, and so did my mum. You know, my mum would be in the kitchen singing along to the songs while I was watching when I was about 5 or 6 years old. Whether it's like Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead, Follow the Yellow Brick Road, or If I Only Had a Brain, If I Only Had a Heart, If I Only Had Courage. If I Only Had the Nerve. There's other songs throughout the films, you know, The Merry Old Land of Oz, you know, so many different songs, you know, that are very likeable and very favourable throughout the whole film. And like I say, her journey to Emerald City, she meets the Scarecrow, where we learn that he wants to have a brain, so he follows Dorothy. We meet the Tin Man, who wants a heart, so he joins the group, and then eventually the Cowardly Lion, who also joins the group, and they're all on their way to go to Oz to grant their wishes of what they want. Now, like I say, I loved this film when I was a kid. Like I said, I used to replay it on like this VHS tape, and it must have got completely worn out. And I think my mum threw it away in the end, and you know, because I wore the tape out that much. But despite the film being a very lovable family film, there's some dark stuff in this film. And I'm not going to lie, I hold my hands up, I did have some bad dreams about the Wizard of Oz when I was a toddler, you know. My main enemy was the Wizard of Oz himself, with the big face. I am Oz! He had like this wicked, gruesome face, and I used to have bad dreams about the Oz character. I'm not going to lie. You know, all along it's a man behind the curtain, you know, but that big face that even scared the Lion because he jumps out of a fucking window. that scared me when I was a kid, you know. And another thing that scared me about the kid as a kid was the flying monkeys for some reason. And I did not like what they did to the Scarecrow. You know, they're constantly jumping on him, you know, tearing him to pieces because he's made of straw, you know. So I did not like the flying monkeys for that matter for what they did to the Scarecrow. You know, because Scarecrow, I think, was one of my favourite characters when I was a kid. And for the flying monkeys to do that to the Scarecrow was cruel. And I was like, how could you do that? You know what I mean? But like I say, along the way, when they meet the Great Wizard of Oz, they tell them what they want. And the Oz says, the only way I'm going to grant your wishes is if you bring me the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West. You know, so they track down the witch because the monkeys carry off Dorothy and the Toto. Well, not Toto, because he alerts all three of the members, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion, that Dorothy's been taken away, and he leads them to the castle where the Wicked Witch is. You know, everything becomes a success because the witch comes to her demise when she sets fire to the Scarecrow. Dorothy throws water at the Scarecrow, but accidentally goes on the face of the witch, and she melts. And again, it was really well done, you know, about how the witch melted, because I believe she went down on an elevator, like this small elevator on the floor. You know, she's slowly going down very slowly as she's melting. You know, and then when they return to to see the Great Wizard of Oz, they bring the broomstick and they realise that the Great Wizard was a man behind the curtain, but he still grants their wishes, gives the Scarecrow a brain. Well, not an actual brain, but like this scroll. Tin Man, this heart necklace, this heart pendant. I forget what the name of what they're called, and of course Courage, which was a medal. I remember that much. You know, and he says he's going to take it to Kansas himself in a hot air balloon, but he manages to go by himself. And she uses the ruby slippers to tap 3 times, and she ends up going back to Kansas, and she's like originally back with her loved ones, and then the film ends. So, again, fantastic film. You know, I keep saying again and again, for 1939, it was really well done, which indeed it was, and everything worked about the movie. Lovable characters, great choice of songs, excellent settings, really good effects for its time for 1939. Memorable songs, memorable characters, you know, and like I say, the only downfall I've got about the movie is the stuff that went on behind the scenes, which is some bizarre stuff I've been reading. I mean, I don't believe all of it, but for 1939 they got away with a lot of crazy shit back then, and it was just like totally unnecessary. But it will always be a classic. I mean, like I say, we're in the year 2025 now, and after just watching this movie moments ago, I'm still blown away by it, about how they got away with certain things, you know, like the tornado spinning in the background and all the effects that they did, how they introduced the colour, how it started up in Kansas in black and white, and then when it got to like the Land of Oz, it was all colour. You know, went from black and white to colour. You know, I thought every actor did a great job of their role in this movie. They really do put the heart and souls into their characters. You know, it made me laugh a little bit at Dorothy at the end when she said goodbye to the Tin Man, Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion, where she says to the Scarecrow, "I think I'll miss you the most." Well, I always said to myself, she should have said that for the Lion, because the Lion was, out of the 3 characters, was much more characteristic, and it would have made more sense if Dorothy would have said to the Lion, "I'm going to miss you most of all." You know, I thought that would have been more sense than saying it to the Scarecrow. But she did say it to the Scarecrow, but it would have made more sense if she said it to the Lion. You know, Judy Garland was an excellent choice, you know, but she met a sad ending apparently because she was taking uppers and downers and medication for her weight, you know, and all that kind of thing. So, kind of sad how her life came to an end. She was only very young, you know. What amazes me is that every character in this film has now passed away. You know, I mean, I believe one of the remaining, well, one of the remaining characters was the Scarecrow. He passed away last of bladder cancer, I believe. Well, the Tin Man passed away of a heart attack, and the line of Phenomia, and those other things, and all the Munchkins as well have all passed away now, so. Anyway, everyone, that's my review for The Wizard of Oz from 1939. Again, an all-time classic. If you haven't seen this movie, I don't know where the hell you've been, but it's one of those movies that I do check out. I mean, I know some people who don't like this movie, The Wizard of Oz. I say it's not really their cup of tea. But I, for one, believe it's one movie for all members of the family to enjoy. And I still get a kick out of it to this very day. I still enjoy it. It brings back a lot of childhood memories for me. And it is one that I do highly recommend. It's an all-time classic. Okay. Well, thanks for watching this, everybody. And email me if you've got any questions. And leave all your comments below. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for checking out this review. And I'll see you another time.